Okay, pretend this is an apple from 1976, okay? So these are apples. There's supposed to be 12, but my kids ate 3 of them. So these are apples, organic apples from today. How many do you think we have to eat from today, organic apples, to get what we got in micronutrients in this apple from in the 1970s? 12. That's exactly right. How'd you know? I know, because I said 12. Anyway, 12 apples. So I have some good news and bad news for you today. And the bad news is that food will never, ever be enough again because of what's been going on with our food supply, period. There are lots of things people might think that's true or not, whatever. Go do the research. That is not in any way alternative medicine or anything. That's just science. We spend 2.5 times what the next industrial nation does on healthcare, and we rank, anybody know? 50th. How's that working for us, right? Similar stats on public school, but that's a separate thing. Okay, so we are in a health crisis. Every stat goes up and up, and this whole debate about who's going to pay for this and who's going to pay for all these people to have diabetes, it's really a moot point. The fact is nobody can afford for everyone to be sick. And just imagine legions of people coming to hospitals and not having enough drugs, not having enough beds, and not having enough doctors. And that's what we're looking at, especially as we start paying doctors less. Doctors are paid $15 for an hour nutritional consult and $1,500 for putting a stent in your heart. How many people do you think are getting stents versus nutritional counseling? Anybody? Okay, so are there any questions about whether or not we're in a health crisis? Thank you. Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, perfect. So what I want to talk to you about is, and the reason why I want to talk to you about this is because I love you guys so much, and you've done so much for my life. BNI has been amazing for me. When I joined originally, I was just starting out as a business person, and I learned so much from Steve's amazing training and the book and Giver's Gain and just from one-to-ones with you, so I'm very grateful. And what I want you to do with me is to be an ambassador for this information with me. It's very, very important. People are very, very sick. People are suffering in silence. A lot of people are absolutely exhausted. And I love to stay positive, and I think most of you know that. But the fact is, this is a crisis situation. So what we're talking about is cutting edge science. This is about in the last 2 years. So, you know, all this data has been gathered over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They were aware that pesticides were a little bit questionable, what was going to happen with that. They were kind of looking at that. We use 10,000 different chemicals on our food, and only 500 have ever been tested for the effects on humans, and those have only been tested for less than 6 months of the effect. Okay, so we really, honest to God, don't know. We don't have the same, you know, to get a drug approved, you have to have a lot of, you know, studies and all that. It's not like that with pesticides. And so the cutting edge science is gathering all this different data that's been researched over decades and finding a syndrome. And a syndrome is when there's multiple things that all come together. And just like as BNI, we are greater as a whole. You know, whatever that is. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, right? And the syndrome means that these individual things are problems in and of themselves, but when you have them all together, it's catastrophic. Think of the big hoopla, and it was terrible. 9/11, don't get me wrong, it's horrible, and it's a sad day for me every year, and I recognize that, and it was traumatic. But 3,000 people died. Hundreds of thousands of people die in the United States related to the information I'm talking about every year, including children. It's very serious. So these things are interconnected. 2 minutes, thank you. Interconnected. They are toxicity, which we discussed, nutritional deficiency. When they started spraying the pesticides and herbicides on the soil, they killed all the microbes in the soil. Soil was living. It had things in it that would convert the inorganic mineral into organic mineral so our bodies could use them because they were in the plants. That's not happening now. We need 91 nutrients. We have 3 in our fruits and vegetables, which is what plants need: potassium, nitrogen, and sulfur. So those are the 3 things in our food. And consequently, our bodies are manufacturing fat, visceral fat, around our organs inside. Whether you're skinny or not, you have it on the inside, around your liver, your kidneys, you can see this. And it's to dilute the toxins and protect our organs. It's very, very serious. Visceral fat is a marker for heart disease, blood pressure, autoimmune diseases, and all of these things, ADD, all of these different focus issues, sleep issues, libido issues, and stress. As a result, when we raise our cortisol levels, that's our stress hormone. We can feel like we're overwhelmed. A lot of women walk around feeling like that. That makes us gain weight. When we have elevated cortisol, which is useful in a jungle, but not so useful on a day-to-day basis, okay, we cannot burn fat. We start digesting our muscle as a result for energy. Our brains start shrinking. If you feel like, God, I'm just not as smart as I used to be, it's true. And I forgot the other one. See what I'm saying? Okay, bone density. Bone density. We actually start leaching our bones for that. So this is called the TDOS syndrome. And Isagenix is a protocol. It's magnificent, unbelievable technology, whole food anti-aging technology that will help address this. Thank you. I do, and I have right here a list of people that I'd like to meet, which you have all heard. And I'm asking that you join arms with me and become ambassadors of the new health conversation. Regardless, I'm not asking you to sell Isagenix. I'm asking you to listen for conversations of people that are suffering in silence and say, I know someone that might have something for you. And I promise I will not try to get them into my pyramid scheme. I promise, okay? I want to talk to them about this information. It's very, very important. Yeah, we have an event coming up October 14th, and Kathy Anna will announce that. And I have invitations, and I would love you to bring them. It's a book signing. They're not going to talk about Isagenix, but it's absolutely related. He is the one who formulated this idea of the TDOS syndrome, and he has all these Nobel Prize. Basically, if a scientist sees this, they go, oh my God, this is exactly what's happening. It's just a matter of people hearing about it. So I'd love to meet people that are getting ready for reunions, weddings, professional portraits, moms with kids, who are overwhelmed. There are a lot of moms that look forward to 1 o'clock for a beer. Health-minded people, solution-minded people, people that drink love whole foods. So it's all on here. Thank you. No questions. Thank you.
If you've got more questions for Michele.
Absolutely.